Good morning. We are ready to rock. Now, it is actually not morning. It is 20 minutes after 12. I got out here in the morning, but as you can see from the remnants of it, it rained last night. And because we have a sill here, it collects water. So we spent about an hour and a half scooping the water up and getting rid of it so that it wouldn't. I thought first about just sweeping it off here, but that would have created a whole lot of mud. So we swept it into a large dustpan, put it into buckets, carried the buckets out, and cast the water down the hill. I've been sitting here for the last 20 minutes, sending a few emails. The sun came out and things started drying up a little bit more. I've already had one of my kids break something and I had to fix it out here so they could go out there and take care of something in the orchard for me. But we are ready to get started. I've got a spline I'm going to put into this panel right here. And after that, I'm going to move over to this side and I'm going to cut the section on the sill plate, on the foot plate, so that I can put one of the beams in. And my reason for doing that, I'm going to step back here so we can get a better view. The reason that I'm doing that is these beams are equidistant from the edges. I've talked about the problem of accumulated error. And that problem I know is not going to just disappear when I'm doing this room. So what I want to have happen is I want to go from that side in and that side in, so that when I get right here in the middle, there's one panel that is solid, has no window, and the reason it has no window is because it sits behind the wood stove, which will sit right here. I want those windows to be equidistant from the side, and then any adjustment that needs to be made between these two posts that are going to be right here, I want to make it in this panel. I expect that I'm going to have to cut that panel and shave some of the foam away. So I want to get that done, put these two panels in here, get it into the middle, and make any adjustments necessary and get that up. Now I figure I have 6.5 hours of work that I can do. I don't expect I'm going to get all 3 panels up today. I thought I was going to be able to, but like I said, I showed up here about 10 o'clock today after going to the store, and it was just soaked. We couldn't do any work. We couldn't safely run anything electrical around here because we were standing in a 1/4 inch of water everywhere we walked. Dang it! Cut. All right, that spline is in place. I'm going to turn my attention to this next post. And this one's going to be a little bit tricky because the post goes in here and it actually sits into this wall. Now, I'm not going to cut this because this is one of my shear walls and I've already fastened it to the concrete. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut away the foot plate and sill plate, and I'm going to notch out the post because that post really doesn't bear any weight here, it bears its weight here. So I'm going to mount it here and I'm going to notch it out so that I can fit it over this, fit it over top of that bolt. So I've just made my first 2 cuts here. I'll use the skill saw and I went straight across here. I used the mounting plate that we're putting in here as a template. I made my first cut even with the edge of the OSB. I used an upside down, a blade mounted upside down in the Sawzall that fit perfectly. So the reciprocating saw was able to get in there. It doesn't go all the way across, so I'm gonna have to play with it a little bit. The sawzall doesn't get, or the skill saw doesn't get me all the way down, so I'm gonna finish that with a handsaw. I'm gonna get this separated so that I've got a little wiggle room to work with over here. I got a couple different tools I can work with to try and get that taken care of and get that out of there. Now, I've had a couple of people ask me, how do you know how to do all this? I don't know how to do all this. I don't know how to do all this. I go on YouTube and I know my hat looks wonky. I can see that there's an upward curve. It covers more of my head and my ears than the ball cap does, and the sun is about to be blazing. I can already feel it. It's warming everything up quite a bit. So I'm gonna wear my funny hat and cover my ears up. But I don't know how to do this. I never knew how to do any of this stuff. I started messing around making furniture in my garage 15, maybe 20 years ago. Just messing around. And at first it was because I couldn't afford to buy stuff. And so I would make some things that we needed, just some very basic things. And I realized that if I got a quality tool, I could do some pretty decent work. Over time, I ended up building up a pretty good wood shop, and I was able to turn out a few decent things. Fast forward that, I bought a house as an investment and it needed to be gutted. I didn't have enough money in the budget to hire somebody to do it, so I went in and we did everything. And I went into bookstores and sat down and I read in the bookstore everything on any improvement book or building book I could find. I got on the internet and I looked at every video anybody was putting out there, how they were doing something. I watched everything I could. I read everything for building codes that I could find, just to find out how things are supposed to be done and what the expectation is. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. So I'm going to get on this, cut this notch out, and we're going to get this next post up here. Dirt up in there, that's for sure.
So is it all the way? Oh, it's just right there.
Give me that brush, I'll brush it away. So, I still need to cut down through this one. And I'm going to make use of this tool right here. Well, this has proven to be a more meticulous job than I expected it to be. Because of the way that this beam is going to sit, it is going to bear its weight on this mounting plate right here, and it has to straddle this bottom plate. Because of that, I had to do a cutout, and it took a little bit of time to get this carved out the way that I needed it to be. But I think I have everything as it should be, and I'm ready to dry fit it and see if it works. Boom! Oh yeah! Look at that.
Well, let's get the level and see.
What do you think of that?
Yeah, it's very nice. if it's level. Because we've been here before.
Level. Plumb.
Okay.
Plumb.
Okay.
All the way over. Nice. Very, very nice.
Well, it's amazing how it just fits into the other. That wood right there. Like, that's really nice.
I cut it so it would.
Okay.
Once again, my wife is amazed at my expertise. It fits down on there. It's got just a tiny bit of play at the bottom, which is nice because I plan to put a piece of foam between this piece of wood and the floor, and between that, also between this piece of wood and the bottom plate, so it can't wick any moisture up. Perfect. Is it there?
Yeah. All the way to the back.
All right. That was easier than I thought it was going to be. Well, I did not get as much done today as I was hoping that I would. But I did manage to get one post that I'd agonized a little bit about how I was going to do it. We got that one in there. Looks pretty good, I think. And we got one more panel up. I've got a lot of work to do. We're gonna take a full week off before long to work on the roof. Between then and now, I have to put together the posts and beam truss pieces. Happy?
Yeah, tired. So happy.
The mountain looks beautiful. We're gonna say goodnight. We'll see you guys next time. Come back and check us out at Break Hard Orchard. Hit that subscribe button too. We'll see you.
Good
Bye.
night.